Alrighty, welcome back to another video. It is New Year's Eve today, and I have one small thing that I'm gonna do to the truck that I did talk to you guys a few videos ago. But today we are going to be changing out a clamp on my aftermarket intake tube because it is still corrugated, and I wanna get rid of all the corrugated piping and everything for better airflow. Click on my fancy little light here, and today, this bad boy right here is our culprit. As you can see, it's corrugated and it sits in there funny. And this is our replacement. It's got its own little heat shield. It does have a little lip in there, but that's only so it can't go too far onto the throttle body. So it won't really affect too much in reality, but this is our replacement piece. So the first step for me is going to be taking an old shop rag and cleaning it up because it's absolutely disgusting. And I'm kind of anal like that. So I'm gonna clean this up and then we're gonna throw it in the truck. Now that it's all cleaned up, we can take the old one off and put the new one in its place. This is just an 8mm. You come here and you come here, loosen it and pop the intake tube out. So I did end up having to take my tube off of here, but I got this off. And as you can see, I did kind of paint this in between the time I put this on because it did rip some of the paint off there. But as you can see, we got this here. It slipped out a little bit here, so it is misaligned, but we are going to put our new one in its place. All right, so as you can see, I got the new one on. The old one is right there. It did kind of change my intake like angle a little bit. This is seated all the way up against there. And if you didn't know, this is not something that you normally can just do. I cut an aftermarket intake tube because somewhere over here in the pile of my shit, don't mind all that, we're still moving. Somewhere over there, I have an actual intake for this, but the intake kept getting wet because the design just wasn't there. So I put this air box back in, I put a K&N drop-in intake in it, and then a drop-in filter, and then I used my aftermarket intake tube, painted it bright red, and I just hooked it up as I would an aftermarket intake here, except I cut the tube down and mated it perfectly to the plastic here, and I put a clamp on it. Now, I don't think I've seen anybody else do it, not that I'm one of one, because this is definitely not a cool setup, but it keeps the truck cool. I have stock ducting here, so the truck does suck cold air all the time. And don't mind this is just my little light, all that wire shit we got going on. I did have to plug this as well because with the aftermarket intake tube, you don't have a spot for this. So as long as you cap it, it's fine. So my hope is that getting rid of that corrugated little pipe there will eventually help some airflow. Now, this is not going to make you a race truck. That's not going to free up any horsepower for me. It just lets the airflow a little bit easier, and the truck will breathe a little easier, and it'll probably take a little longer for the truck to heat soak because it's got more airflow to it. Now, I have seen people make better dyno numbers on the stock intake than with an aftermarket one, but I have no real proof of that. Every dyno is different. Every DA is different. You know, it's all the friction of the rollers on the dyno. It doesn't matter. Regardless, this is no race truck. But in 2024, I do have a series that I am going to start doing. And that is going to be how to make my 3rd gen Ram outrun a 5.0 truck. Now, it's probably not going to be a new 10-speed 5.0. It's probably going to be like a 2011, 2013, like 5.0 with a 6-speed in it, like the 1st gen of the 5.0s, because the new ones, they're just way too fast. They make almost 500 horsepower. The old ones are like rated like 400, like something like that, like 360 with a 5.0 or something like that. These are 345 with 400 foot-pounds of torque. So they're within the same realm. But we are going to be giving it a try. I'm going to be out looking and trying to find myself somebody with a 5.0 truck for me to race because I am super curious how this truck will stack up. But it does have some changes that need to be made before I can do that to get that slight edge. I did also completely forget to mention, you did see a little sneak peek when I pulled the truck in, but I don't know if any of you guys can guess what this is just by seeing LiftMaster on the side there. I got a garage door opener to open my garage up. Actually, my stepdad got it for me for Christmas because he is a garage door tech. So, Builder Supply, Fremont, Nebraska. It's beautiful. So, I got a new rail and chain. I got a new, I don't even know what the hell this thing's called. I'm not a garage guy. And then I got a new head, which I think is pretty badass. The garage door will be able to open. He'll be able to, this is all Wi-Fi too. Like I can get on my app on my phone and I can link this thing to my Wi-Fi and I can open my garage from out of town, actually, as long as that is linked to the Wi-Fi of the house, which is pretty fucking cool, in my opinion. So, sometime next week, this bad boy is getting put up, and I'll show you guys the process of that as well. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry I went on a little tangent there. I just changed one little thing on the truck. I don't even know exactly how it's gonna go. The heat shielding that's on there may make the truck heat soak right before the intake right there at the throttle body, but we are going to find out. I will give you guys a little update in probably a week or so to see if there's any difference at all in the truck. There probably won't be, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. Peace out and have a great New Year's.